Today we welcome Mr. Matt Press, who's serving as the state's Building Commissioner of New South Wales, here to answer a number of questions about the building reforms in New South Wales. Welcome, Matt.
Hi, Brad.
It'd be great if you could just kindly share with us a little bit about your involvement and experience in the building reforms.
Look, I've been on this journey since the very start, when we had the Construct New South Wales transformation agenda to bring back consumer confidence in our building industry and build an industry that's far more capable, productive and attractive for the next generation to enter into.
And how important have these reforms been, and have we seen any sort of change of commitment or resolve from the government over your period of service?
Look, it's been a long journey and one that continues, but we're starting to see changes in behaviour and the green shoots of the investment going back 3 years now. We're starting to see in construction quality, the incidence of waterproofing related defects start to decline, probably by about 20% over the last 4 years. And on the other side, we're seeing consumers wanting to return to the apartment market and around a 20% increase in their confidence to purchase off the plan.
And how important is iCIRT within those reforms in terms of lifting construction capability and supporting the industry in moving forward?
iCIRT has been really critical. As a regulator, we leaned hard into data and assessing risk, and that now guides all of our regulatory activities, determining which people or projects that we're going to focus our attention. The ratings from Equifax is almost the public-facing version of that approach, empowering the industry with information on its own risk profile and giving it somewhere to aspire to, so they can think about how they might want to improve and perform better. We're seeing that significantly change behaviour across the industry, but also improve consumer confidence because they can see the industry investing in being a better version of itself.
And what have been some of the ways the government has been exploring in terms of facilitating the adoption of these trust mechanisms, the iCIRT ratings, in terms of the adoption, the incentives or the encouragement for industry to embrace these tools?
I think modern regulation and modern approach from governments is really about making sure that you've got privileges and burdens in a system. Rather than just a set of blunt rules, how do you create that sort of gradient to encourage people to the place that you'd prefer that they go? So as a regulator, it aligns closely with our approach to focus on those that are high risk. We're also thinking around the processes and policies that we control, how we might want to create burdens and privileges for those that are more or less trustworthy. So things that's going to look like, increasing the strata bond or creating opportunities for fast-tracked or more streamlined processes. Really again looking to how we reward that trustworthy behaviour and provide some burdens in the system to those that are on the more risky side so that we can help move them through the gate to that more trustworthy status. We're also having conversations across government for how other agencies might be able to leverage off risk ratings as well with their work.
And Matt, we recognise there's been increased regulatory surveillance and really driving out those bad actors, the repeat offenders, the Phoenix operators from the market, but also recognise that there are reliable, resilient, good building professionals out there seeking to avoid unnecessary or administrative burdens. And so we've heard the government formally speak about earned autonomy. Some are not really sure what that means. Perhaps if you could share with us in terms of the way in which the regulator focuses their efforts, what does that infer for those that have their iCIRT rating?
Look, we are a very proactive regulator these days, operating not just in Sydney but across the state, visiting a large number of building sites each and every day. We're going to keep that going, even though we have ratings, and really double down on those high-risk players because those are the ones that cause the most harm, that 10 to 20% of the market. They're the ones where we see the most damage to the industry and to public confidence and to homeowners. What we're seeing though is those that are rated, they are displaying the attributes that you might expect from a more trustworthy player. When there are issues on a project, they're leaning into working with us and the owners to get those resolved, and we're finding we don't have to deploy our blunt regulatory instruments to the same degree. So a real strong separation in the market between those high risk and the trustworthy players. And we see our role as the regulator to make sure that we focus our attention on those at the bottom end and get them to change or drive them out of town.